So the tools that you're going to need for this oil change is the 17 millimeter, and you're probably going to need a 3/8 drive. That's going to be the oil drain plug, and then the 8 millimeter. I'm using a 1/4 inch drive. That's for the oil filter cover. That's right here, the oil filter cover, 3 bolts. And then underneath you got your big, right there. There's your oil drain bolt. That's a 17 millimeter. And I'm just using a small little tin can, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a little bucket. Good enough for the almost 2 quarts of oil that come out. Okay, get her broke loose. Get plenty of rags ready when the oil comes out. You will be making a mess. Try to keep your hand up high so that you're I have one for the dipstick, or the dipstick, the plug. Okay, and she's coming down. That one for me. Thanks. If that doesn't make you want to go piss right now, I tell you, it's like filling your gas tank up on the early morning, hearing that tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Just makes you want to go. So while it's doing that, I usually clean the plug up. I clean the washer. I know it probably says to replace it, but you're not going to believe this. I have never replaced it. And all the years I've owned this, since 1991, I'd like to, except right now, I don't have one. So, it looks good and flat. When the oil quits running, I'll clean it off with a rag. We're just gonna get in there and give it a good wiping. And then put our plug back in. Turn the selector on there, please. Mm-hmm. Turn the selector on. Alright, so I'm getting it just hand tight right now. Oop. And I'm just going to that's about it. I just turn it like about 1/8 of a turn past finger tight. That's all I ever have done. Okay, so now we're ready to remove the filter. So we grab our 1/4 inch socket, our 1/4 inch ratchet, excuse me, and we put on our 8 millimeter socket. I put a rag down here just because when this here comes out, it just goes all over the place and saves it from oozing all over the frame and inside there a little bit. Gives it somewhere to stick, if you will. Careful. And there, you just popped, separated. And now the oozing is really coming out now. Yep. Alright, all three are out. You're going to take this. You want to inspect your O-ring, this one, and then this one here. Make sure it's not ripped, torn, or came apart. Everything looks good, so I'm just going to set it down for now. And then your filter. And on your filter, when you get ready to install the new one, it says on here it says out, and it says towards filter cover. Man, that aluminum thing that we just took apart was the cover. And then also on here it says this side and spring towards engine. Oh, we haven't got to the spring yet, have we? Well, there's the little spring. Don't lose that. So, that being said, we can just let that sit. So then putting it back together is just a reverse order of your spring. You can't screw this up. There's no special way that the spring goes in, but it goes in and it'll just stay. And then there's your filter. Now you can see here's the difference. Even if they don't write all this good news on here for you, there's no O-ring. Oh my goodness, look at there. There's a rubber gasket or O-ring, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it does mate to this, see? And this side over here, it doesn't mate. So it's pretty straightforward. You shouldn't be able to screw this up. I'm not mechanically inclined. I haven't screwed it up in how many ever years it is. I just usually press it back in till I can get a screw and another screw. And then the third screw. And I'll give it just a little bit past tightness. About probably less than 1/8 of a turn. And that's it. I have a little funnel that I keep just for this, because it's just small enough to get in there. A lot of my other automotive style filters are too doggone big. So there really isn't a lot of room. So you really can't pour it too fast, or you're going to fill it over the funnel. Alright, we're going to crack the second quart, and this one is the one that has the mark on it for my 1.75. Just take your time. You can always add more. I hear it kind of sucks if you overfill it. You get your turkey baster out. I shit you not, that's what you do. The other thing is, don't check it right now until you run it, because the filter hasn't circulated the oil. So we're going to pause for a moment, start it up, and then we're going to start checking the stick. Down a few moments, pull her out, take a look at it. As long as it's between that mark and that mark, they say it's good. And it's adequate. I mean, so we're just a tad high of my number 8 there. Thing again?
Nope, it's focused. You can see it.
All right. Yeah, looks good. Perfect. I won't go any higher. So, we're done. I'm just going to wipe off that. And then just screw this down by hand tight. I guess they call that finger tight. That's snug. I mean, it's not coming off. So there. And that's it.